Retirement is something we can plan for, and the better our planning, the more we get to enjoy our retirement years. Today, I'm joined by Guy Chennells, Head of Product at Discovery Employee Benefits, to give us some tips around what you need to be considering as you get closer to retirement age. Welcome, Guy, and thank you for joining us today. I imagine a good starting point is meeting with your advisor and doing a financial analysis to understand whether or not you can afford to retire. So this does mean you need to understand what your lump sum means in terms of a retirement income. How does one go about doing that?
When you're speaking to your financial advisor, it's helpful to have a framework in your mind of what you're looking for. And I like to think of this in three main buckets of spend. That when you hit retirement, there's kind of three things you need to be thinking about. There's your basic, absolute core expenses that you're going to spend every month as long as you're alive. On top of that, you probably don't envision that kind of a lifestyle. So there's other expenditure you'd want to make on a monthly and yearly basis. And you want to sort of work out roughly what that looks like. And there's a kind of chunk of expenses on top of that. And then to the side of that, you probably want to have some money set aside for medical or other emergencies or ad hoc one-off expenses or purchases that you may want to make from time to time. So those are your three basic buckets. And each of those you can match or provide for with different kinds of investments. And that's really where a financial advisor will help you to get to the nitty-gritty of what each of these mean and how to do that best.
Guy, this does assume that people have enough money at retirement. The reality is for many people that come to retire and they realize they don't have enough even to meet their basic needs, let alone have that fun money. What are your options at that point?
There is something you can do. The most powerful thing you can do is find a way to delay your retirement. And that's powerful for three reasons. The first is that the money you have saved grows for longer. The second is that you can save for longer, so you're adding to that money for longer. And the third is, by the time you do retire, you are somewhat older, and so you need to provide for a shorter period of time. So all of those three conspire to really give you a great return on that investment of delaying a retirement. If that's not an option, or you even want to try something and be a bit more bold about that, then you obviously need to look at what skills do you have and start to imagine and think about what you might actually practically do post your leaving your kind of current employer. And there may be some gaps that you can fill in the meantime. For example, if you think you could go into consulting, a great experience in a particular industry, maybe you want to start learning about how to do your own books and how to set up a business structure, etc. So maybe even start looking for some leads so that you get a kind of natural transition into that kind of post-retirement moment.
So is this an important discussion to have as a family when, if you're coming to retire, if you've got a parent who's retiring?
No one wants to discuss finances with their parents or parents with their children. But it's really important because your children are going to be the benefactors of your money. If you pass away and you've got some left over, they're your backstop, actually. So they have a financial interest. It's their business. And so I think it's a good idea to become transparent with your children and kind of cross that Rubicon. I think it's important to start that early rather than one day you get a phone call and we're moving in because we've got nothing left.
Well, thank you so much, Guy, for joining us today. That has been incredibly valuable input.